In this lesson, we'll set up our spine curve to deform. So how can we deform this curve getting the flexibility that we need? Well, we can actually use the skin modifier for this and set up a few objects that will be the initial controls for this curve. Not our main controls, but just, again, to get the deformations going. So we can use more helpers for this. I really love those helpers. Let's go to the Create panel, Helpers, and we'll create another point helper. Alright, going to the Modify panel, I'll just make this a box and set the size to 7. So it's a little bit larger than the others, making it easier to select. Alright, now from here I'll go ahead and quick snap this first one right to our first helper, right at the hip. We can clone this one and bring this right to the top of the chain. So this essentially would be our chest helper and the hip helper. Let's say we go ahead and rename them. The one at the top, this is going to be PT CTRL point control underscore chest 01. Copy that. And we'll rename this one at the bottom hip 01. Okay, so now it's time to take that curve and add the skin modifier to it to get these deformations going. So selecting our shape, and if you're having trouble selecting it, you can always use the select tool in Max, hitting the H key. From there we can go ahead and use the find text box to quickly find this shape. So we labeled it with the prefix of CSHP. And notice we can quickly filter out where it is. So we choose OK. Now that it's selected, again under our modifier list, we'll press the S key to quickly find the skin modifier. Okay, from here, it's a matter of going to our list, choosing Add, and then finding our PT control. So again, we can use the find parameter here. Type in PT CTRL underscore, scroll down until we find, here they are, the hip and chest helpers. So we can just select them both, choose select. Alright, so initially here's what we get. If we were to go ahead and select this helper and start to move it around, notice how it deforms our spine. Excellent, so we're getting that flexibility. And you can see some separation there, showing you that we're going to get some nice stretching from this as well. We're not going to set up any squash. That we can save for a more advanced course for a spine rig, but for now this is great. Excellent. Now if you wanted to, you can go in and kind of reweight the curve to deform a little bit better, more to your liking. That's what I actually like to do. So if you like to do that, simply head back to your curve shape. Go and quickly find it. With it selected, we want to turn on Edit Envelope and then head over to our weight table. Okay, so here we can see the weights, again coming from the hip and the chest. So let's go ahead and modify the hip section, and by doing so we'll at the same time modify the chest. So for the next vertex weight, I'll put in a value of 0.8. This is similar to the weighting that we did for our helpers here. Okay, so we're using simple math. This is going to be 0.8, the next is going to be 0.6, 0.4, and finally 0.2. Okay, so we get this even weighting throughout. Now that that's done, if we were to close this out, come out of Edit Envelope by simply choosing our modifier, the skin modifier again, if we were to now select one of these helpers and start to move them, notice we get a really nice result. Some really nice deformations. And notice this, if we were to now start to rotate this, all right, this is great flexibility. Awesome. But of course, we don't get any twisting as we move in the Z. Okay, so that's where our IK goals come into play. Let's say we go ahead and recolor these helpers. So we could use a color of red. So we can quickly, again, access them if we need to. All right. Well, now that that's done, of course, we can add these to their layers. So selecting both, we'll head over to Layer Manager and add them to Objects to Hide. And with these things done, that actually finishes this lesson. We have our curve deforming. By the next lesson, we're ready to set up upper body controls.